I died choking on my own blood, the metallic tang flooding my mouth as the car smashed into the guardrail, flipping end over end like a discarded toy. In that final, spinning instant, I saw my husband's face, not twisted in horror, but smirking from the passenger seat, his hand already slick with the brake fluid he'd sabotaged. And then nothing. Blackness. Until the screech of tires yanked me back, not to the wreckage, but to a hospital bed 3 months earlier, my ears ringing with the partial deafness that had started it all. My name is Zoe Harper, and I'd always thought betrayal was something that happened in movies, slow burn affairs, corporate backstabs, the kind of drama that made you clutch your popcorn. But life in suburban Chicago, with its cookie-cutter houses and PDA meetings, had lulled me into complacency. I'd married Ethan at 28, fresh out of a dead-end marketing job in the city, convinced his tech bro charm and family money were the upgrade I needed. His mom, Vivian, was the ice queen of the neighborhood, all Botox smiles and whispered judgments at book club. They called her Viv like it was affectionate, but to me, it was a warning. Viv, short for Viper. It started with the accident, or what I thought was an accident. 5 weeks ago, I'd been driving home from a late shift at the ad agency, rain slicking the roads like oil on a politician's promise. A truck hydroplaned into my lane, clipping my sedan just enough to send me spinning into a ditch. The impact shattered my left eardrum, leaving me with this muffled half-world where voices sounded like they were underwater, and high-pitched noises drilled into my skull like accusations. The doctors said it was temporary, a concussive trauma, but temporary felt like forever when your husband started treating you like fragile glass. Ethan was attentive at first. Too attentive. He'd hover while I fumbled with subtitles on Netflix, his hand lingering on my shoulder a beat too long. "You sure you're okay, babe? That hearing thing's gotta suck." His voice, always that smooth baritone, now warped into a distant hum through my good ear. Vivian would drop by with casseroles, her perfume, a cloying Chanel No. 5, cutting through the fog like a knife. "Poor dear," she'd coo, patting my hand. "Ethan's just worried sick. Family sticks together, you know?" But in the quiet moments, when the pain meds wore off and the house creaked like it was holding secrets, I'd catch fragments. A phone call Ethan took in the garage, his tone dropping low. Vivian's accidental slips about my instability, how I was not quite right since the crash. I chalked it up to pain and paranoia. Who suspects their own family of anything darker than forgetting to buy milk? That changed the night I woke up gasping, the hospital monitors beeping in sync with my pounding heart. The room was sterile white, tubes snaking into my arm, and a nurse bustled in, her scrubs swishing like whispers. "Zoe, you're awake. How's the hearing?" I blinked, testing it. Her voice was clear, crisp, not muffled. The beeps were sharp, the distant hum of the ER a full symphony. I can't hear everything. Panic clawed at my throat. This wasn't right. I remembered the crash after the accident, the sabotage, Ethan's smirk as the world inverted. I'd flatlined on the table, felt my soul rip free.
But now?
Now I was here, 3 months back, the calendar on the wall mocking me with July 15th instead of October. The nurse smiled, oblivious. Miracle recovery. Docs said the swelling went down faster than expected. "Your husband's outside. Want me to get him?"
Ethan.
My stomach twisted. In my past life, no, my only life, until this cosmic do-over, I'd trusted him with everything. Our savings, our dreams of kids, the deed to the house his mom had gifted us. But he'd poisoned the brakes, staged it as a suicide when the cops came sniffing.
Why?
The inheritance. Vivian's will, rigged to cut me out unless Ethan divorced me clean. I'd found the papers too late, hidden in his sock drawer, right before he drove me to that romantic overlook. "No," I croaked, my voice raw. "Give me a minute." She nodded and left, and I lay there, piecing it together. Reincarnation? Bullshit fairy tale stuff, right? But the memories were etched in fire. The courtroom where Vivian testified I'd been depressed, the jury's pitying eyes, Ethan's crocodile tears at my funeral. I'd been buried in a plot next to his grandparents, a Harper family affair, while he cashed in on the life insurance I'd signed over in a haze of love. This time, I wouldn't be the victim. I'd play their game, but I'd rewrite the rules. Starting with that whisper, the one that had tipped me off in the original timeline, overheard in a moment of cruel clarity right before he pushed me over the edge. The door creaked open, and there he was, Ethan, 32, going on eternal frat boy, with his tousled blonde hair and that dimpled smile that used to melt me.
Zoe.
Oh God, you're okay. He rushed to the bed, enveloping me in a hug that smelled of hospital coffee and deceit. His embrace was tight, possessive, but I felt the tremor in his arms. Not fear, but calculation. I'm fine, I murmured, pulling back just enough to search his eyes. Blue, like Lake Michigan on a sunny day, but cold now that I knew. Just scared. He kissed my forehead. The doc said it was touch and go after the crash. That truck driver, drunk, they think.
But you're tough, babe.
Tougher than me.
Lies.
The trucker had been sober. Ethan had paid him off to swerve. I bit back the urge to claw his face, forcing a weak smile instead. What about my ear?
It's
better? Yeah, they said the hearing's coming back. Praise Jesus or whatever. He chuckled, but his eyes flicked to the door, like he was checking for witnesses. Mom's on her way. She freaked when I called. Vivian, the architect. In the life I'd lost, she'd been the one whispering poison in his ear from day one. She's not one of us, Ethan. Gold digger from the wrong side of the tracks. My parents were teachers in Indiana. Hers owned half the commercial real estate in Evanston. Class warfare, Chicago style. I nodded, playing the part. Inside, rage simmered a slow boil. This was my second chance, and I'd use it to dismantle them brick by brick. No rash moves, no calling the cops with memories that sounded like insanity. I'd gather proof, twist the knife slow, make them feel the isolation I'd known in those final hours. The next few days blurred into a haze of discharge papers and physical therapy. Ethan drove me home in a sleek Tesla, the same model he'd used to end me last time. I gripped the door handle, half expecting the pedal to stick, but it didn't. Not yet. He filled the silence with chatter about work, his startup, Ethos Analytics, some AI bullshit for predicting consumer behavior. Big investor meeting next week. If it lands, we're set, Zoe. House in the Gold Coast. Maybe start that family we've talked about. Family. The word soured in my mouth. We tried once, before the accident. Miscarriage at 8 weeks. Blamed on stress. Now I wondered if Vivian's vitamins had anything to do with it. Home was the same colonial in Oak Park. White picket fence, rose bushes I'd planted myself. But it felt like a stage set now, every corner a potential trap. That night, as Ethan snored beside me, I slipped into his study. The sock drawer yielded nothing. Too soon, he hadn't hidden them yet. But his laptop, password Zoe Forever, gag, held emails. Innocent stuff, client pitches, lunch with mom. One from Vivian though. Darling, the paperwork's ready. Sign when you're alone. She'll never suspect. My heart hammered. The divorce docs, prepped months early. I screenshotted it all, emailing to a burner account I'd set up on my phone during therapy. Step 1, evidence. Morning brought Vivian bearing fruit baskets and that fake concern. Zoe, honey, look at you, upright and breathing. She air-kissed my cheeks, her diamonds glinting like shark teeth. Ethan hovered, pouring coffee. Thanks, Viv, I said, forcing warmth. My hearing was near perfect now, every clink of china amplified. The docs say it's a full recovery. Wonderful. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Ethan was devastated. You two are soulmates, after all. Soulmates. I sipped my coffee, tasting the bitterness beneath the brew. That afternoon, while they ran errands, I tore the house apart subtly under couch cushions, behind framed photos. In the attic, amid Christmas decorations, a locked box. Lockpick from an old Amazon order. Thank God for impulse buys. Inside, bank statements. Transfers from Vivian's account to Ethan's, labeled contingency fund. and a flash drive. I plugged it into my laptop, pulse racing. Audio files. One dated 2 weeks before my accident. Ethan's voice, low and urgent. Mom, the brakes are tricky. You sure about this? Vivian's reply, silk over steel. She signs the prenup waiver tomorrow, or she doesn't make it to the wedding anniversary. The will's ironclad. Everything to you, as long as you're widowed.
Do it clean, Ethan.
No loose ends. My blood ran cold. Not just sabotage, the whole marriage a setup. I'd been bait, lured with love to secure her empire. The miscarriage? Likely sabotage too, to keep me off balance. I ejected the drive, hid it in my tampon box, cliché but effective. Tears burned, but I wiped them away. No time for grief. This was war. Over the next week, I played normal Zoe, yoga classes, dinner parties, laughing at Ethan's jokes. But at night, I plotted. Hired a PI through a Cash App, anonymous. Dug into Vivian's finances, shell companies, tax dodges. Ethan's startup? Funded by her loans. But the patents were hers, stolen from a rival I'd vaguely remembered pitching to. The controversial part? I started small, vicious. Anonymous tips to the neighborhood gossip mill. Heard Ethan's investors are mobbed up. Whispers at the country club about Vivian's affair with her lawyer. Nothing provable, just enough to itch. Then, the whisper that ignited it all, the one I'd half heard in my deaf haze last time, now crystal clear in this do-over. It was a Thursday, 2 weeks post-dash recovery. Ethan thought I was asleep, pills in my water, his habit, to help me rest, but I palmed them, feigned slumber. Downstairs in the kitchen, his voice drifted up, hushed. Mom, she's suspicious. The hearing's back too soon. We accelerate. Vivian's hiss. Patience. The insurance policy doubles if it's suicide. Make her look unstable, therapy notes, pills. Then the cliff. Trust me, darling. Mothers know best. I froze in the shadows, heart a war drum. This was the pivot. No more games. Time to strike. The whisper hung in the air like smoke from a backroom deal, curling into my lungs and igniting something feral. I backed away from the stairs, silent as a ghost, my bare feet cold on the hardwood. Ethan climbed up minutes later, sliding into bed with that practiced sigh of exhaustion. I rolled toward him, murmuring, "Bad dream?" just to see his flinch. "Yeah, work stress." He pulled me close, but his grip was off, testing like I was a wire he might trip. I let him, counting breaths until his snores resumed. Then I was up, phone in hand, texting my PI. Double down on Vivian's offshore accounts. Urgency, now. Sleep didn't come. Instead, memories flooded unbidden, vivid as fresh wounds. Our wedding in the Gold Coast ballroom, Vivian's toast. To Zoe, who brings light to our family. Light my ass. She'd vetted me like a hostile takeover, quizzing my lineage over champagne. Ethan had laughed it off. Mom's old school. Old school meaning WASP entitlement, the kind that viewed my Midwest roots as quaint at best, contaminated at worst. By dawn, I was in the kitchen, brewing coffee strong enough to strip paint. Ethan shuffled in, rumpled in his boxers, planting a kiss on my neck. Morning gorgeous. Hearing all good? No ringing. Perfect. I lied, smiling over my mug. Heard you up late. Everything okay? He hesitated a microsecond, but I caught it. Just calls. Startup drama. He grabbed his phone, scrolling with feigned casualness. I glimpsed the screen. A text from V. Handle it tonight? My PI's reply pinged as Ethan showered. Vivian's accounts traced to Cayman shells, funneled through a charity for displaced heiresses. Ironic. And Ethan's patents? Plagiarized from a defunct firm where I'd interned years ago, my old notes, digitized and forgotten, on a shared drive. I forwarded it all to a lawyer friend from college, Claire, who'd gone corporate after law school. Hypothetical. Fraud, embezzlement, attempted murder. Statute? Evidence chain? Her response, Zoe, WTF? Call me. But yes, airtight if docs hold. Controversial. Entrapment to bait confession? Entrapment. The word thrilled and terrified. In America, justice was a slot machine. Pull the right levers or get burned. I'd have to walk that line, make them confess on tape, but without crossing into vigilante territory. No guns, no bodies. Just cold, calculated ruin. Vivian arrived at noon, unannounced as always, with errands that smelled of control. Lunch at the club? My treat. Her eyes scanned me like inventory. I agreed, slipping a micro-recorder into my purse bought online disguised as a key fob. The Oak Park Country Club was old money incarnate. Manicured lawns, waiters in penguin suits, air thick with scotch and schadenfreude. We settled at a corner table, Vivian ordering for us, salads, no dressing. For your figure, dear. I nodded, recorder whirring silently. Tell me, she started, spearing a lettuce leaf. How's the recovery? Ethan says you're perky again.
Perky.
Code for not doped up. Better every day. It's like waking from a fog. I leaned in, conspiratorial. Though I worry about him.
So stressed.
That investor meeting. She waved it off. Men and their toys. He'll land it. Always does. A pause, her fork pausing midair. You two talked kids yet? Clocks ticking. The probe. In the old timeline, this led to the vitamins, birth control masquerading as fertility aids. Soon, I said. But after the crash. I'm cautious. Her laugh tinkled like breaking glass. Cautious is smart. Family planning's an art. Then lower. Ethan mentioned your episodes. The deafness, making you jumpy. I feigned hurt. Episodes? Like what? Oh, just paranoia. Thinking people whisper behind your back. Her eyes locked on mine, daring. We all get that way under stress. The recorder caught it all, the subtext, the threat. I excused myself to the ladies, locking a stall to text Claire. Got bait. Real time? Afternoon bled into strategy. Back home, I accidentally left my laptop open to the flash drive files. Audio cued, but paused. Ethan wandered in, towel around his waist post-gym. What's up to? Organizing old stuff. I hit play casually, volume low. Our voices from the wedding filled the room. Vows, laughter. Then, seamless edit I'd made, spliced in Vivian's recorded confession from the drive. He froze, color draining. What the hell is that? I turned innocent. Just reminiscing.
Weird, right?
Sounds like your mom plotting a heist. His laugh was forced.
Glitch.
Old recordings. But he edged closer, eyes on the screen. I let him see the file name, Vivian_plan, wave. That night, he cracked. Over takeout Thai, his favorite, to cheer me up, he broached it. Zoe, we need to talk. My fork hovered. About the marriage. He set down his chopsticks, face scripted with regret.
It's
strained. The accident changed things. You're different now. Different how? I pushed, voice steady.
edgy.
Like you're listening to walls. He reached for my hand. I let him, recorder in my pocket live. It's the hearing, I said softly. Makes everything louder. Secrets, especially. His thumbs stilled. Secrets? What's secrets? I leaned in, mirroring his whisper from the kitchen. Like how moms will leaves you everything if I'm out of the picture. Widowed, not divorced. Double insurance. And those breaks? Slippery slope, Ethan. He yanked back, chair scraping. Jesus, Zoe, therapy much? You're delusional. But doubt flickered. I pressed. Or maybe I'm just catching up. The Cayman accounts, the stolen patents. Ring any bells? Silence stretched, taut as a wire. Then, his voice low. You don't know shit. Mom's protecting the family. You were never part of it. There it was, confession raw. The recorder hummed. Protecting? By killing me? He laughed, bitter. Don't be dramatic. It was an out. Clean break. I stood, heart thundering. Clean like the cliff you planned? The pills to make me unstable? His face crumpled, not guilt, but cornered.
Fine.
You want truth? Vivian saw you coming a mile away. Trailer trash playing house. The miscarriage? Mercy. You weren't cut for this. Rage blinded me. I grabbed the wine bottle, not to swing, but to pour, red as blood, over his lap. Get out. He did, slamming the door. But not before hissing. You'll regret this, Zoe. Family fights dirty. Alone, I exhaled, emailing the audio to Claire. We have him. But revenge wasn't catharsis. It was erosion. Sleepless, I paced, the house echoing my footsteps. Controversial decision 1. Leak to his investors. Anonymized docs, sent via Tor. By morning, Ethos Analytics stock, private, but whispers kill, tanked in pre-meeting buzz. Vivian called at 8 a.m., venomous. What have you done?
Listened, I said.
Really listened.
You bitch.
Ethan told me everything. This ends now.
Click.
But I was ready. PI reported. Her lawyer's office bugged legal? Gray area, but fuck it. That evening, as rain lashed the windows, she showed, uninvited, key I'd forgotten she had. Zoe. She swept in, coat dripping. Let's talk woman to woman. I poured tea, herbal, laced with nothing but truth. About the will? Or the murder plot? Her poise cracked, just a hair. Exaggerations. Ethan's weak, but I only wanted security. Security by orphaning your son? I played the kitchen whisper on my phone. Volume up. She paled. Turn that off. Blackmail? Justice. But her eyes narrowed, calculating. You think you win? Harpers own this town. Cops, judges. DA's office owes me a favor, I bluffed. Claire's connections ran deep. We stared, two queens in check. She rose. This isn't over. It wasn't. That night, my car wouldn't start, tampered. I called a tow, but inside, a note. Back off, or next time no recovery. Fear coiled, but so did resolve. Twist incoming. The PI uncovered more. The truck driver? Not drunk, paid by Vivian. But the real bomb. Ethan's not her bio son. Adopted, to spite his father. The will? Forged, contested by a half-sister in hiding. Leverage. But using it meant dragging innocence into the mud. Controversial? Hell yes. The note crumpled in my fist, ink smudged like a bad tattoo, but the threat etched permanent. I didn't call the cops, not yet. Evidence first, always. Instead, I Ubered to Claire's loft in Wicker Park, the city lights blurring past like accusations. Chicago at night. Jazz horns wailing from dive bars, L trains rattling overhead, a pulse that matched my own erratic beat. Claire met me at the door, wineglass in hand, her pixie cut tousled from a late brief. Zoe, you look like hell.
In.
We hunkered in her kitchen, industrial chic, exposed brick hiding the steel of her resolve. I spilled it all. The reincarnation. She raised an eyebrow, but didn't scoff. Stranger things in court. The audios, the note. She played the files, face hardening with each word. This is gold, she said, pouring me a glass. Murder for hire, fraud, the works. But the adoption twist? That's dynamite. Vivian's empire crumbles if it outs. Illegitimate heir, forged docs. I sipped, the Merlot bitter. And Ethan's half-sister? She's clean? From what your PI dug, yeah. Lives in Seattle, graphic designer. Cut off years ago. Thinks Vivian's a monster. Claire tapped her laptop. We contact her. She flips the will contest. But Zoe. This gets ugly. Media. Scandals. You ready for the blowback? Ready? I died once. What was a headline?
Sure.
But no innocence hurt. We plotted till 2 a.m. File for divorce citing, irreconcilable endangerment, freeze assets, tip the feds on the Caymans. Controversial hook. Bait Ethan into a meet, wired for sound. Make him admit the breaks on tape. Manslaughter sticks. Adrenaline buzzed as I cabbed home, dawn creeping over the lake. The house loomed dark, but a light flickered. Garage. Ethan, tinkering? Or Vivian plotting? I slipped in the side door, phone recording. There he was under the Tesla, wrench in hand.
Zoe?
That you?
Yeah.
I stepped into the fluorescence, casual. Car issues. He slid out, grease-streaked, eyes red-rimmed. Yours wouldn't start. Figured I'd check. Lie, his hands were clean. Thanks. I leaned against the workbench, heart steady. We need to talk. For real. He stood, wiping non-existent dirt. About last night? I was pissed. Mom too.
But.
Maybe counseling.
Counseling.
The old ploy.
No.
About the endgame. The cliff, the policy. His jaw tightened. Drop it, Zoe. You're in over your head. Am I? I pulled the flash drive from my pocket, dangling it. This says otherwise. He lunged, instinct, but stopped, fists clenched. Give it. Admit it first. The brakes. Say it. Silence, then defeat.
Fine.
It was me. Mom's idea, but I did it. For us. Clean slate.
Us.
The word twisted like a knife. Us meaning you and her. I was collateral. You're twisting it. Anger flared, American macho bullshit. You never fit. Always questioning, digging. Mom saw it, said you'd ruin everything. Ruin your con, you mean? I pocketed the drive. The patents? My old work. You stole it. He deflated, shoulders slumping. It was easy. You left files everywhere. I just polished.
Polished.
My intern scribbles turned into millions. Rage surged, but I reined it. One chance, Ethan. Walk away. Tell Vivian it's over. Or I go public. His laugh was hollow. You think she'll let that happen? She's got dirt on everyone, including you. Me? Bluff called. That miscarriage? Not natural. You popped pills after, stress, right? But docs could spin it. Unfit wife. The lie hit like a slap. I'd grieved clean. This was fabrication. Prove it. I don't have to. He stepped closer, voice dropping. But if you push, Seattle gets a call. Your half-sis-in-law? Yeah, I know about her. Vivian's got eyes.
Twist.
He knew about the sister, leverage of his own. I backed out, locking the garage door behind me. Inside, safe, I texted Claire. Complication. They know. Morning brought fallout. Ethan's investor meeting? Cancelled. Whispers of ethics issues from my leak. He stormed in at lunch, face thunder. What did you do? Protected myself. I stood my ground, mug in hand. Divorce papers incoming. You bitch. He swept the table, plates crashing, Thai leftovers from last night scattering like confetti. After everything. I laughed, sharp. Your everything was a cage. Vivian arrived mid-rage, summoned by his frantic call. She took one look at the mess, then me. Out.
Now. No.
I faced her, recorder live in my bra. We're doing this here. She sneered. Family meeting, then. To Ethan. Clean up. She's hysterical. Hysterical. The gaslight classic. I let them bustle, playing distraught, tears, pacing, while they huddled in the study. Door cracked, I caught fragments. Get the pills. Make it look self-inflicted. Enough. I burst in. Pills? Like last time? They whirled. Vivian recovered first. Eavesdropping? Paranoia again. Save it. I hit play on my phone, the garage confession booming. Ethan's face ashen, hers marble. You little. She lunged for the phone. I dodged, heart slamming. Ethan grabbed her arm. Mom, stop. Stop. She rounded on him. She's destroying us. I did this for you. For me? His voice cracked. You turned me into this. The adoption, hiding it, forging the will. I'm not even yours. Bombshell. The secret cracked open, raw. Vivian staggered. You knew.
Pie.
Months ago. He turned to me pleading. Zoe, I didn't want it. But she said it'd fix everything. Pity flickered, controversial, unwanted. Too late. Sirens wailed distant, Claire's doing, anonymous tip. Cops at the door minutes later, warrants in hand. Vivian spat. Lawyers. But the feds followed, Caymans flagged. Ethan cuffed, weeping. I loved you once. Loved. Past tense. As they let him out, I whispered. Once wasn't enough. The house emptied, echoey. Victory? Hollow. But the half-sister called that night. Lila, voice tentative. Zoe? Thank you.
Alliance forged.
Yet, tension coiled. Vivian's parting glare. This isn't the end. It wasn't. A week later, my therapy notes, forged, planted, surfaced online. Anonymous post, unstable widow-to-be, media frenzy, tabloids dubbing me the Deaf Avenger. Controversial blowback. Neighbors shunned. Job suspended. But Claire sued for defamation and Lila testified. Vivian's fraud exposed. Will invalidate it. Climax brewed. Vivian's trial. I testified. Voice steady. The whispers now roars in open court. Her cross. Delusional. Hallucinations from the crash. But the tapes played. Jury gasped. Verdict. Guilty. Conspiracy to murder. Fraud. Ethan flipped. Plea deal. 20 years. I walked out free, but scarred. Twist. In the old life, I died unknowing. Here, alive but alone. Freedom tasted like ash in the courtroom hallway, fluorescent lights buzzing like judgmental bees. Reporters swarmed. Zoe. One question, revenge or justice? But I pushed through, Lila at my elbow. She was taller than I'd imagined, 29 with Ethan's eyes but none of his weakness, her Seattle raincoat a shield against Chicago's chill. You okay? She murmured, linking arms. Not yet. We ducked into a diner, Formica tables sticky with history, ordering black coffee and fries, comfort food for fractured souls. Lila stirred sugar endlessly. I knew she was toxic, but this? Adoption papers said emergency placement. Turns out, Dad's a fair kid, me. She buried it to keep the fortune. I nodded, dipping a fry. She buried me too. Literally in plan. Lila's laugh was wry. Harper women, diggers or graves. We bonded over that, shared trauma, Vivian's ghost. She stayed a week, crashing on my couch, helping pack the house for sale. Oak Park felt tainted now, every corner whispering liar, fool. But peace? Elusive. Nightmares replayed the crash, Ethan's smirk morphing into Vivian's stare. And the controversial ripples. My leak to investors? Backlashed. Ethos collapsed, jobs lost. Innocence collateral. Guilt gnawed. American dream turned nightmare. Was revenge worth the wreckage? Claire called mid-pack. Settlement from the defamation suit, millions. Plus the patents?
Yours now.
Licensing deals incoming. Money. I'd hated it in Vivian's world. But now? Survival. Donate half. Women's shelters. The ones she ignored. Classy.
Pause.
Date night soon? You deserve normal. Normal. The word mocked. Ethan wrote from lockup. Letters, contrite drivel. I was weak. Forgive?
Burn them.
But one line lingered. Mom broke us both.
Broke.
Not made. Twist deepening. Therapy real this time. Unearthed my complicity. I'd ignored red flags, his late nights, her barbs, for love's illusion. Reincarnation gift? Not just revenge, but reckoning. Lila's last night, we cracked wine on the porch, fireflies dancing like lost hopes. What's next? She asked.
La Mavi.
Film industry, my marketing degrees gathering dust. Hollywood, glitz over grit, reinvention central.
She grinned.
Take me. Half-cis road trip. Alliance solidified. But dawn brought the call, Vivian from minimum security. Visit. Controversial urge pulled me. The prison was gray purgatory, her orange jumpsuit clashing with pearls she'd smuggled somehow. Zoe. Her voice, once command, now plea. You won. Did I? I sat, glass partition cold. You lost everything. Family. Her eyes brittle. Ethan, my boy. You took him. You gave him away. I leaned in. The whispers, the plans. Why me? She shrugged, elegant, even caged. You were.
Perfect.
Ambitious, blind. Easy to mold, then discard.
Blind.
Truth stung. And the half-sister? Lila? A flicker, regret? Mistake. Youth. Lies. But I saw it, the crack. Vivian, abandoned bride once, building walls of wealth. Cycle. I could appeal, she said. Drag it out. Your name in mud forever. Threat, empty.
Try.
I'll bury you deeper.
She smiled faint.
Touché. But remember, revenge echoes. It comes back. I left, echoes ringing. Back home, Lila waited. Closure.
Ah.
We loaded the U-Haul, house echoing goodbye. On the road west, 90 stretching like possibility, radio blaring Springsteen, Born to Run, ironic anthem. LA hit like a fever dream, palm trees, smog-veiled sunsets, auditions disguised as pitches. I landed a gig at a boutique agency, scripting trailers for indies, revenge flicks, fitting. Lila crashed with me bartending nights, sketching days. Bond grew. Sisters by betrayal, not blood. But tension simmered. Ethan's appeals dragged, media dredging my deaf phase as hysteria. Online trolls. Gold digger witch. Controversial decision. Go public. TEDx talk. Whispers in the dark. Hearing betrayal. Stage lights hot, voice steady. I died once in trust. Came back to fight. Not for vengeance, but voice. Viral. Backlash, trauma porn, but allies too. Women's groups, podcasts. Money flowed. I funded scholarships for wrong side girls. Twist crested 6 months in. Package at my door, no return. Inside, Ethan's ring note. Sold the Tesla. Starting over. Forgive. Attached. Therapy eval, his. Victim of control. Seeking amends. Pity ward with scorn. I called his warden, collect. Why? Growth, he rasped. You showed me the mirror. Too late. Hang up. But I kept the ring, reminder, not relic. Vivian died in custody. Heart attack, official. Lila and I scattered ashes, fake, procured, over Lake Michigan, middle finger to the wind. To ends, we toasted. Yet echoes persisted. Nightmares shifted. Not death, but choice. The controversial what if. Had I killed them in rage?
Clean win, but soul-stained.
LA nights, rooftop with Lila, city sprawl below. Happy, she asked. Reborn. Wind whispered agreement. Rebirth in LA wasn't fairy tale sparkle. It was grindstone sharp, honing edges I dulled in complacency. My agency gig ballooned. Trailer for a Sundance thriller, echo chamber, about gaslighting spouses. Ironic meta, scripted with insider venom. Director, a wiry Brit named Jax, leaned in post-rap. Zoe, that dialogue? Cuts like glass. Your story? Life's better than fiction. We grabbed tacos at a food truck, neon buzzing, mariachi horns clashing with traffic. Jax's eyes, green and probing, hooked me. Fancy a pint? Share the scars. Controversial? Dating post-trauma. Claire's voice echoed. Deserve normal. I did. Dinner turned nights. Jax's flat in Silver Lake, a sanctuary of vinyl records and no-strings talks. Revenge, he asked once, tracing my palm. Worth it. Worth everything. But in quiet, doubts crept. Ethan's letters persisted, sporadic, poetic now. Whispers were my cage. You freed us both. I replied once. Freed yourself. Live it. Lila thrived too, gallery show, her abstracts of fractured families selling to celebs. We three dubbed a unit. Rooftop barbecues, hikes in Griffith Park, dissecting Hollywood's hypocrisies. Vivian would have hated this. Lila quipped over sangria. Bohemian bliss. Hated but envied. The ghost lingered, her appeal denied posthumously. Estate auctioned, mansion to condos, proceeds to.
Me?
Will's twist, codicil naming Zoe Harper for services rendered. Services. Chilling. I donated it, scholarships expanded. Zoe's Voices Fund for Abuse Survivors. Media spun. Avengers Grace.
Backlash, PR-stunt.
But checks arrived. Women whispering thanks, their stories echoing mine. Climax Redux. Ethan's parole hearing year 2. Lila and I attended virtual from my office. He faced the board, gaunt in orange, voice steady. I was puppet. Zoe cut strings. Granted, early release. Condition strict. Panic spiked. He comes for us? Lila fretted. Doubt. But I hired security, low-key, ex-cop PI. Weeks passed, nothing. Then, a call, unknown number.
Zoe?
It's Ethan. Breath caught. What?
Free.
Not hunting. Healing.
Pause.
Can we talk? Controversial mercy. I met him neutral, coffee shop in Pasadena, midday bustle shield. He looked older, lines etched, no smirk. Thanks for coming.
Why?
Direct, American blunt. Closure.
And.
Apology. Real one. He slid a folder, his book draft, whispers to roars. Your story with permission. Profits to the fund. Twist. Redemption arc? I skimmed, raw, unflinching. His abuse, Vivian's mania. Me as catalyst, not villain. Considerate. I stood. But no contact after. Understood. His eyes, once cold, held warmth. You saved me, Zoe. By breaking me. Echo of Vivian's words, repurposed. I left lighter, folder underarm. Jax proposed over Malibu sunset, cliffs, waves crashing like applause. Marry me? Build echoes that heal.
Tears, yes.
Wedding small. Beach. Lila, maid of honor. Claire officiant. Vows. I hear you fully.
No whispers.
Happily? Not ever after. Life's messier. But whole. The old crash? Faded scar. Reincarnation's gift. Second hearing. Second heart. Years on. Zoe's Voices thrives. Centers nationwide. Survivors roaring back. Ethan's book? Bestseller. Him lecturing on control. Lila's art. Museum walls. Jax and I. 2 kids, chaotic joy. One night, tucking in our daughter, ears sharp, eyes curious, I whisper a story. Once, Mommy died, but she came back, louder. She giggles. And lived.
Lived.
And loved. Whispers fade. Roars endure.